All right. Welcome back to the Intelligence ModPod. As always, I'm Bobby, and I'm here to teach you everything that I know about Dungeons and Dragons. And today we're going to be talking about clerics. Now, I brought our resident cleric, fellow support master Royal, with me today, and we're going to tell you everything you need to know about both 2014 and 2024 clerics. So before we get started, as always, I like to make sure everyone knows the experience that we have with each of the classes. So Royal, what is your experience so far in your D&D career with clerics? Did I say paladins at one point in that?
No, you said cleric. You're
Okay.
fine. Cleric is probably my second most played class. They're just fun. I love the versatility. The versatility of a cleric is just the tits.
It sure is.
I just love them. Because you could be your super supportive, I'm just gonna sit in the back and heal everybody and everything's gonna be fine, to I'm gonna go in the front line, punch everybody in the face, and cast all my spells as DPS because that's what I'm doing, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere in between.
Well, yeah, 100%. I actually, this is probably going to surprise a lot of people. I actually don't have that much experience playing clerics because I've never played an actual cleric. I've played, like, characters that I dip into cleric. But Bard and Druid almost always just beat cleric out for me. So I never really get to play a fully donned out cleric, even though I do know the absolute powerhouse of a class that they are. I feel like we openly say in almost every video that we're comparing the classes that cleric and paladin are the apex of powerful D&D classes. And we're going to tell you why. So as always, first we're going to talk about the things that both the 2014 and the 2025 share. So with that, you are a full caster, which means your max spell level is 9. You're going to be using, in the player handbooks, there's going to be a section that shows you how you're going to be gaining your spells. Just follow that, because I don't feel like saying, oh, you get your 3rd level spells here, you get your 4th level spells here. It has it all listed out for you. It's really nice. If you're using D&D Beyond, it will keep track of when you're getting new spells. I think it's a great tool for new players. Wisdom is your modifier. I just want to say, Wisdom is my favorite modifier in the game, and I think that's why Druid and Cleric always really pull me in, because the skills that I enjoy are almost always Wisdom.
Yeah.
Personally. Your spell save DC, of course, will be 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your Wisdom modifier. Spell attack modifier will be proficiency bonus plus your Wisdom modifier. Now, again, that's when you use spells against people. If it's 2 hit, so it's you trying to hit them, you're going to use that spell attack modifier. If it's something that they're trying to dodge and they have to make a save, it'll be that spell save DC. Also, with clerics, even in 2020 or 2014, you are a ritual caster. I feel like that's so important to say, because back in the day when not everyone was one, it was a big deal. Because you got to do magic shit for free.
Free magic shit. For time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it costs you an extra 10 minutes, but that's okay. Who doesn't have 10 minutes to let the warlock, take a breather while you're doing cool shit?
Exactly.
With the clerics, you are going to be on a d8 hit die. So that means level 1, your health will be 8 plus your con mod. And then every level after that will be 1d8 plus your con mod, or if you're going by the average, that'll be 5 plus con mod. You're proficient with simple weapons, light armor, medium armor, and shields. Now, not right off the bat you're getting heavy armor, but you will probably, if you've seen clerics, you know that most clerics are donning heavy armor, and it's going to be subclasses that will give you that. Also, you're going to get tools. That's not correct. I still have this for bards, and it right here is saying...
I will also say that for your weapon proficiency, your god has a specific weapon, and whatever god you have, you get proficiency in that. So you could be proficient with a greatsword.
Yes, you can. That is something that you definitely need to talk with your DMs about. Make sure that what they're wanting to give is working, because obviously if you're like a cleric of Selune, who is a god of healing and mystery and light, I don't think a battle axe is what you're taking as your Selunite weapon.
Yeah, it would be a sickle for her.
Yeah. So yeah, talk to your DMs. Most of them have predetermined weapons, but not all of
Yes.
them. Some of them have a little bit of leeway um, with that.
Yeah.
Also, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say for me, whenever someone chooses the war domain, it's basically like, what do you want to use?
Yeah,
It's all war.
yeah. If you're like I will be honest, as a DM, I don't really stick to this god is only these domains. I like to mess with it just a little bit. I think Saluna would totally be down for a war cleric, just getting in there and putting the fear of the moon in people. Uh, Talk to your DMs. Cleric is one of those classes that if you struggle with roleplay, this class comes with a lot of flavor pre-built in for you. That can kind of help you get out of that shell, that you can kind of use as a crutch to really bring your character out. Because not every cleric has to be, the holy devout, everything for their god. Some of them might have been abused into it. Some of them might have been tricked into it. Some of them might do it because a god saved them, and that's their only option at this point. So really play around with it and use the flavor that they're going to give you, because you get a whole lot of it.
Yeah, you could also be a chosen of that god, but do you want to be a chosen of that god? Mm.
I don't. Get me out of there. I feel like, though, I want to say, though, whenever I play Chosen of Gods, I think I'm almost more drawn to Divine Sorcerer when I go for that kind of character. But, again, everything is skeleton, and the way you flesh it out around it is what really matters. You're going to get a couple DMs that are real sticklers for, like, cleric, you have to be religious. Not all of them are like that. You don't, like, you can just use the bones of this class and form it into pretty much whatever you want it to be. Because also for saving throws, you're getting wisdom and charisma, which I think are pretty good for a caster. If you're playing a war cleric and you're up in the front, this might not be the best combination for you. But wisdom is always a good one, because that's most magics, and charisma, it's not the best, but it's there.
Hey, you won't get banished, okay?
You're gonna have a less likely chance of being banished, and I think Bane is also on that list, so you don't gotta take a D4 off.
There you go.
When it comes to skills, you get your choice of 2 between history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. If you're in 2014, I'm just gonna be honest with you, taking religion probably isn't gonna work very well for you, because it's an intelligence-based skill, and odds are that or strength is gonna be your dump stat. So don't bank too heavily on religion. If you're in 2024, you sure can. You can bank on that real good. But back in the day, it's not really going to happen for you. You are going to be a religious person who doesn't know shit about religion. And that's just all there is to it.
Which is hilarious. You're like, I devoted my entire life to this god to know all about the religious text. Are you really good at it? No. I
have a -1. Or if I'm proficient, I have a +1. It doesn't make sense.
I have
like
a +1.
It's like is it nature that's also an intelligence check? So then druids, druids are like, I am a nature-powered mage, but I don't know shit about nature.
What is that mushroom? No idea.
I don't know. It looks delicious. So back in the day, religion isn't going to be a great thing for you, but in 2024 they did fix that. Again, this is something talk to your DM about. I know as a DM, I let my clerics roll it as a wisdom check in 2024, and if they're using 2025, it doesn't matter, because they fixed it, and we'll get to how they fixed it once we get there. But when it comes,
still think it can be either. I was going to say, I think it could be either or. Like, if you're an intelligence-based class and you studied nature, makes sense. If you are a wisdom-based class and that's kind of your thing, then obviously you should probably know it. Like, if you're a druid that knows nature or a cleric that knows religion, you should definitely, I think, throw into the wisdom. But everybody else can understand just being intelligence.
Yeah, new DMs definitely play with the fact that if it's about their god or an adjacent god, because there are several of the D&D gods that work very closely together. The first thoughts of mine is like Tyr and I said first come to mind and then it completely erased itself as soon as I said it. Tyr and the gauntlet one, you know who I'm talking about?
I know the image.
So
I
this
know
right
who's
here
God.
is an accurate
Yeah.
depiction of when it's an intelligence check. When you're trying to remember
Yeah.
gods that you don't follow, that is when it's
Yeah.
intelligence. But when it's about like
Um,
Selune and the unicorn one, Malachi, they work very close. Or is it Malachi?
Maliki. I think it's
Maliki?
like Maliki.
Something like that. I don't know who really follows the gods in D&D. Let's be
Yeah.
real. They work together.
Who
I know a little
does?
bit about those two. You know, if I want to go off about Kasuth, the elemental god of fire, I'm ready for that debate. But the actual mainstream gods, I have no idea what's happening.
Oh my gosh. I miss the old thing where it just had all the gods with their like thing.
Yeah, like a big
But no.
list. I think it's in the
Yeah.
I think it's in the Dungeons Master's Guide. So if you're looking for that, it is in the DMG
How?
with all the main ones, and you should be able to just Google like 5e God alignment chart, I think, and then it shows them. The name's gonna come to my head at some point. I'm gonna be so upset.
Yeah.
But your role in the party as a cleric is whatever the hell you want it to be. You can be the full party healer. If you want to be a life cleric and just do massive healing, you can. If you want to be a controller who's keeping the battlefield under control, keeping the crowd control down, as a, order cleric, you can. If you're wanting to just do crazy support that's giving shields, buffs, pretty much every cleric can do that. Blasters. If you want to be doing some damage, we've got Light Domain. We've got Tempest Cleric. There is so much for Blaster, and if you want to be a brawler, you can even get in there with Twilight or War Clerics. This is one of those classes that the base class is so powerful that the subclasses themselves just take it to just this crazy level. Because it can do all of these things no matter what subclass you pick. But once you do pick a subclass, it just gets so much stronger in just a specific niche environment. Also, with both of these, you're a prepared spellcaster, which means when you take a long rest, you can change all of your spells, except for cantrips.
Except for cantrips.
Which
Have they changed that with 2024? You can, I think.
I think it's with a level you can change a cantrip now.
Okay.
Every level you can do it. And I think that's most classes these days.
Yeah, and that's fantastic.
Absolutely amazing. But yeah, so you can change your spells to suit, like, if you know, oh, today we're doing a political intrigue. Now's the time for, like, charm person, or, you know, bless is always a good thing.
What was it? Splendid's, the ones that increase your stat and checks with it, like Fox's cunning.
That would be
Eagle's
enhanceability.
thunder. That's it.
Yeah, these niche things that you normally wouldn't bring into combat. You know, today's the day. If you know you're about to go into a gladiator pit, charm person might not be the right spell to take with you today. And so they have really nice versatility if you know what the day's about to bring, or if you have a decent idea about what the day's going to bring. And I think prepared spellcasters just have such an edge over, like, learned spellcasters for 2024 specifically.
I agree.
But with that, we're going to get into 2024 first. So, if you are exclusively playing on 2025, I'm going to have all the timestamps below for you. That way you can just jump right into it. Gotta write those timestamps so I can remember to put them in. Listen. I like to try to stay as organized as possible. So with the 2014 Cleric, you're getting several choices right off the bat for equipment. You get, for your first choice, a mace or a warhammer if you're proficient in it. I like that they add that specifically, like, if you're proficient. You can't take it and sell it. Boo on that, but whatever. Scale mail, leather armor, or chainmail if proficient. Again, you get your choice of pretty much everything. A light crossbow and 20 bolts, or a simple weapon. A priest pack or an explorer's pack, and you also get a shield and a holy symbol. I think this is a pretty good array of options for any character, because you're getting the light armor, you're getting the medium, or you're getting the heavy, depending on your subclass. Back in 2014, you actually got to pick your subclass at level 1. So
Yep.
If you're sticking with us, even though you're only here for 2024, just know, sorry about it, you gotta wait. Those of us living in the past don't. So yeah, I know for me, I feel like the general usage for me is mace, scale mail, crossbow, priest pack is usually
Yeah.
what I'm gonna go for.
Hmm. And yeah, I usually start with like mace, shield, and heavy armor because if it's like level 1, I want to be as tanky as possible because your HP be real low, be real low.
Yeah. Yeah, clerics are, when it comes to like getting in there as a tanky character, you are gonna start a little bit weaker than a lot of the other tanky classes, because you're not, designed to be a tank. You just can service as one. So just be aware of that when you go in. That as a cleric tank, you're probably not going to be the buffest, but you're gonna have a shit ton of magic to counteract all of your weaknesses at least at some point or another. Spirit Guardian's looking at you. Uh, so at level 1, we're gonna grab 2 cantrips. I think the cantrip selections for cleric is my favorite, because we get both guidance and resistance. And I know resistance isn't one that a lot of people like to take, but I love it. But I wouldn't recommend taking both of these at the same time without at least one offensive cantrip. So do double check on that. Make sure you're not, screwing yourself by only taking super support niche items.
Yeah. Watch out because you could take a crossbow, but if your DM is stingy on ammo, then you gotta. I always say like go for one offensive. Preferably ranged, something close. I mean, you could do Word of Radiance and stuff like that, but no, I would always my go-to is always Sacred Flame because
Yeah.
it's
I
got
think
some
I have
health.
like a hair actively attacking me. This is probably like this is whatever god works with tier that I couldn't remember his name. Like
He's like getting back at
personally
you.
trying to smite me at the moment. Yeah, I think Sacred Flame is the best go-to for a cleric. Because it's easy, it's good, it does decent damage. You're also going to grab 4 spells, depending on what you are attempting to accomplish with your cleric. Your spells are going to be very varied. They're going to be so different from one cleric to another. If you have 2 clerics at your table, do not panic that you're going to be the same character, because you will not. Unless, of course, you're both the Seluna priestess who worships the moon and dances naked in the forest every night, in which case, you might be very similar, but
Right.
there's tons of flavor that you can get from pretty much all the different gods in D&D that can really shape the way your character works, both mechanically and roleplay wise.
Yeah, you could have a full party of clerics and you could all be different.
All
You could just
different.
have 5 clerics and you will all be a different cleric.
100. But you could all be 5 clerics of the same god and still be very, very different.
Yep.
So don't feel like that limits you, because let's be real, if you live in the South and you've ever been to church, you know that there are like 20 different archetypes for what these church people are doing. Some of them are sneaky and they like to gossip. Some of them are, very devout. Some of them are only there because their wife is bringing them. These are all characters that you can use as your cleric. Don't be afraid of that. Also at level 1 for 2014, you're going to be getting your Divine Domain, which is your subclass. This is a very front-loaded class. You're getting so much in your first couple levels, and then it just keeps getting better as you go.
Yep.
Once we hit level 2, though, we are going to be getting our Channel Divinity. So this is a special ability that clerics and paladins are going to get, where you channel divine energy to have some kind of effect happen. So everyone is getting turn undead if you're a cleric. Everyone gets it, where you present your holy symbol, you speak a prayer, and every undead you can see or hear within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its save, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Do you know what the fuck turned means?
Turn means they just get away from you.
Yeah,
if
it's
they
just like
can.
it's like fear. It's like the fear spell. Yes.
Fear. But they have to get away.
I wish they would have just put like an actual condition.
Yeah, turned is kind of weird because they do have to fear from you, if at all
Yeah.
possible. Like fear, you could just stand your ground but turn they have to get the fuck
Yeah,
away from you.
I
They have
just
to
wish
go.
they had like I wish they had made turned a actual condition, because I don't really think anywhere in there they like, or I guess they say if a turned creature must spend its turn trying to move as far away from you as it can. It can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take its reactions for an action. I still wish it would have been its own condition.
Yeah.
Rather than the only time you're learning about it is as you're getting the ability that does it. And I wish more things had that condition, because it's strong.
Yeah.
That turn undead is going to get a lot stronger as we continue on our holy journey. But yeah, I mean, level 1 and 2, I really feel like is such a crowning achievement for the cleric, because you are probably going to be the strongest member of your group at level 2.
You will.
Especially if you're doing Curse of Strahd. If you're playing Curse of Strahd and you don't have a cleric with you, honey, someone turn it around.
Someone just get down and start praying right then and turn into a cleric.
Right now. Cross-class if you have to. If there's a druid who already has the wisdom for it, make them do it. Peer pressure. It's what D&D's about.
Yeah. And gaslighting your friends into being something. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Level 3, we're not really getting a whole lot. We get our second level spells and an extra spell slot, or spell known. That's great. Second level spells are okay for cleric. I don't think there's any super standout ones. But that is going to bring us to 4th level, where we're getting our 3rd cantrip. So this is normally where I will pick up resistance normally as a support-oriented cleric, because I like it. What is your normal 4th level pickup for cantrips? Light is a great one too. You're also getting your ability score increase at level 4. So that means you can either add 2 points to something, or 1 point to 2 things, or you can take a feat. I think it was me and Eidos, me and JP, we had discussed that we are both feat men. And we're gonna take the feat pretty much every time.
I wish I could take more feats, but like, especially like the problem with like monk and stuff. The thing I have with like monk and barbarian is like your AC is dependent on another stat. Like you have 2 stats that boost your AC, and you're like, I want to get those as high as possible. Are these things really freaking cool? Yeah, but I also want to be harder to hit.
Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense. Who doesn't want to be more difficult for their enemies to hit? So yeah, I get that. I understand. I'm with you, but I don't know, as a cleric, I'm always just ready to take as many feet as possible.
Go wild. Go wild. Man, getting some like meta magic is great. Like,
yeah.
Just so many good things that you can get. There's so much fun flavor that you can add with a feat. It just changes how your class goes. Like you can pick up Sentinel, and then you can just stop people from getting to your friends. You can get Warcaster and just be full casting the entire time, or you can get stuff that completely like give yourself Fate Touch, give yourself that Misty Step. Like it's love it.
Love it. So good. There's so much you can do on a cleric that just makes sense, because they can do pretty much anything that you want them to. Once we hit level 5, though, we are getting our proficiency up to level 3, and our turn undead is turning into destroy undead. So what that means is any undead that is at a half or lower CR rating, which DMs, surely you know what that means by now. If not, it stands for their combat rating. Or challenge rating. It depends on who you talk to. If it's below that, this creature's just destroyed. They're gone. They're blown up. Goodbye. So this is, as a DM, if you want to let your clerics feel super powerful, give them a whole-ass army of very weak undead that they can just obliterate like 45 undead in one hit. They're going to feel on top of the world. And clerics, if you're in that situation, do it. Blow them up.
Use the god.
And because I'm going to help you metagame, even though I tell you not to, we're looking for shadows, basic skeletons, and basic zombies with that. That's what you're going to be blowing up at 5th level. Also, at 5th level, we're getting 3rd level spell slots. And all cleric players know that this means we get access to 2 spells that absolutely change the game.
The best spells.
The first one being Revivify. We love it. It's great, but other classes get it. So it's not like super special. But then we get to the MVP, probably the fan favorite spell of Dungeons and Dragons, aside from maybe like Wish or something. But that's Spirit Guardians. This is your bread and butter. I don't care if you are a stay in the way back. Take Spirit Guardians in case you get jumped. Essentially, this turns you into a lawnmower of radiant or necrotic energy, and you just cleave across the battlefield.
And it makes people harder to get to you. And that's even better.
Mm-hmm. Spirit Guardians is a game changer, and at 5th level, normally this is where I say that like the marshals really start surpassing the casters, but not the cleric. The cleric is Spirit Guardians alone keeps them still, in my opinion, above the marshals with their multi-attack, because you can hit so many people in one turn with this.
The combo of Spirit Guardian, Spiritual Weapon, you're just like still casting spells and healing, but doing damage.
But still doing way more damage than a healer or a tank should be doing.
Could be. Yeah.
But I'm here for it. I love it. I agree with it. And I fully support Spirit Guardian clerics. And you should too. Support your supports. At level 6, we're going to get another subclass feature, as well as getting our Channel Divinity now twice per long rest. So you can now blow up twice the amount of zombies, twice the amount of shadows and skeletons, or you can just turn them if they're stronger than your half. Which is still fine.
Still good.
Yeah, and all of your subclasses are going to come with one of these Channel Divinities, so you're going to get those options too. I will be honest, odds are you're going to use your subclass Channel Divinity significantly more than you will your actual base class Channel Divinity.
Yeah. Turn Undead is very niche. Your other one is very good.
Unless you're if you're against a Necromancer, in which case it's probably going to be everywhere. We're going to take a real quick break, though, so we're just going to fade a little bit, because I've got this ray of light.
Yeah, I see that. I'm like, you're blinding.
It's like slowly creeping up on me, and I've been like trying to scoot over and tilt my camera away from it. But it's normally this light doesn't hit me until like 4 p.m., so I was like, we've got plenty of time. So give us just a moment. We'll be right back while I try to fix this freaking light.
Before he, as a cleric, he has been blessed with his god, with this radiant energy. He needs to tone it down a second.
This is actively what it looks like when you're a light cleric and someone's trying to hit you, and you add your wisdom modifier to your AC. This is actively what it looks like.
Blinding them.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Sorry about that. Alright, I guess we're back. Hopefully this blinding light will subside for a little bit. I still have a little bit, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea where it's coming from. Oh shit, I think I just found it.
Is it a reflection?
It is, coming off of, like, my desk. Sneaky little light sources. So we're gonna move over to level 7. At this point, you're gonna get 4th level spells. I think the standout one here is Banishment. You literally just point your finger at the enemy and you just say you don't get to fight for a whole minute.
Get out of here.
They don't. And I think if it lasts the full minute, they stay there permanently. Like,
if they are from another plane of existence, yes.
Absolutely busted. Super strong. Level 8, we're getting another ASI or feat. As well as our Destroy Undead now is CR1 or lower, so this is going to add ghouls, specters. It really didn't grow that much for this level, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was literally looking for things so people would know, like, oh shit, ghouls and specters, now I know, let's destroy it. No, you get 2. That's it. That's it. And a subclass feature, so I mean, not everything's awful, but It's not great. This
When
is
you get all your toys, all these really awesome toys, and they give you these kind of small things, you're like, but I like my big toys. Where are my big toys at? And they're like, you already have enough. Stop.
yeah, they really
Stop. Ranger's over here crying, okay?
Ranger doesn't get to cry. They made their choice at character select. So yeah, this is such a front-loaded class that getting an ASI and a subclass feature and your Destroy Undead upgraded actually doesn't feel like that much. That just like that's how powerful the first couple levels are. Then we're gonna move over into level 9. We're gonna grab 5th level spell slots and Greater Restoration. Hopefully, if you're a support-esque cleric, because that's gonna help you a lot through a lot of different difficult situations. But that's really all we're getting at 9th level. But at 10th, we do get our next really, really fucking cool ability that clerics get that I also feel like warlocks should get. And that's Divine Intervention. Yes. Beginning at 10th level, you can call on your deity to intervene on behalf of you when your need is great. You can employ your deity's aid, which requires you to use an action. Describe the assistance you seek and roll a percentile dice. If you roll a number equal to or lower than your cleric level, your deity intervenes. The DM decides the nature of the intervention and the effect of any cleric spell or domain that would be appropriate for it. If your deity intervenes, you cannot use this feature again for 7 days. Otherwise, you get it back after a long rest if it fails. At level 20, you can call for Divine Intervention. They succeed automatically when you do it at level 20, which is really strong. If you want to see flawless usage of Divine Intervention, there's this little known, not very popular stream called Dimensions 20. Just kidding, it's very popular, it's very well known. And the amazing Allie Beardsley is the absolute master of Divine Intervention. I've never seen someone do Divine Intervention, one, so successfully, but two, so, like, I don't know, precisely. Usually it's a very vague spell, but she really crushes it. Have you ever used Divine Intervention successfully?
No. Never has it ever worked for me. Never, ever.
Never.
And never.
Listen.
It's amazing. I love it. It is fantastic. And I'm just there with the tear that rolls down the cheek. And I just go, one day I'll be that cleric.
One day. Yeah, this is one of those things that when it does work, it is so strong, because literally you just tell the DM what you want to happen, and then they can decide if it's appropriate for it to happen, which usually they will. Like, I think Allie uses it. She's just like, everyone's at like 0 health, and she's just like, can I use it to see if everyone just gets back up? And then they do. Everyone gets fully restored with full health or some shit. It's amazing. She's so good. And this is one of those spells that creativity is the limit. I think this is better, personally, than having Wish.
Yeah. I like Divine Intervention because it's up to your, like, and it's nice because you, as a player, say, this is what I want, but the DM can be like, how can I interpret that to what the god can actually do, or is willing to do for you, and, like, how well it can turn. I personally like this Divine Intervention better than the new Divine Intervention. I would say this one is way better. I like this for a lot more reasons. I understand why they did it, but I feel like the DM, again, they give complete control of the DM to say, like, this is what I want to happen. The DM goes, this is what happens. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot better than spell slot. I'm like,
Yeah, so if you're a cleric in a 2014 campaign and you're about to whip out some Divine Intervention, don't get on your DM's bad side, because they do have complete control. But that also means they can do crazy shit. You know, if you're like, if everyone is dying and you're just like, I need everyone healed, they can resurrect people. They can do whatever they want with this, because it's just so powerful. But with that does come with a slight downside for the cleric, in the fact that level 10 is the last time you're getting a base class feature. This is it. This is
That's
the
it.
last of it.
You get the coolest one probably of everybody, but
yeah, and you
less
get it pretty
good.
early. This isn't
You
like
do.
level 10 is not. Was it level 10? Yeah,
Yeah,
level 10
10.
is not an unattainable level for most campaigns.
Nope.
This is probably going to be closer to the end game for most campaigns. I know most end around 12 to 15-ish, if it's that kind of campaign, if it's like a high level one. But that's not unattainable.
No.
After that, though, we're just going to be getting spell slots. 11th level, we're going to get Hero's Feast, Sunbeam, things like this once we get 6th level spells, and your Destroy Undead goes up to CR2. This is Ghast, Poltergeist, Minotaur Skeletons, Ogre Skeletons, and Will-O-Wisps. Again, super situational. Not incredibly great. Level 12 is ASI. Level 13... we're getting 7th level spells. This is when you're going to get, like, Divine Word and Resurrection. Amazing. And also, healers out there, head back to... what episode was it? I believe it was you I was with when we talked about the economy of spellcasting. And we talked about being a for-hire healer. There is money to be made, my friends. And Resurrection is, like... you cast it once for someone, and you can live off that for the rest of your life. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. It's like I love what I like about certain campaigns is like how influential are gods in your realm, how powerful is magic and everything, how commonplace is resurrection. Because if it's pretty commonplace, then you're just like, come on, guys! I will bring your loved ones back for a price. Come on, baby, and then you can get some money. Or is it like, or is this kind of a thing of like your god is like, I don't just resurrect random Joes, dude. Just you gotta let me know you need it, and I expect something from it. That's also a really cool thing. So again, clerics just bring so much because like with the spells that they're given and stuff like that, you can get so much threads or paths for the campaign to go, and it's amazing, and I love them for it.
Yeah, having a cleric, especially in like a homebrew world, having a cleric really lets the DM flesh their world out from a divine standpoint. Because beforehand they might have been like, oh, here's the gods, this is what they do, but they're probably not going to meddle too much. You get a cleric in your group, and now you have all this free reign to really play God, and to really... have these different battles going on that weren't necessarily there because they weren't relevant before, and now they are. Level 14, we're gonna move up. Destroy Undead up to CR3. Mummies, Wights, Phantom Warriors, and Cobalt Vampire Spawn. I saw that on the list, and I was like, that's the coolest sounding thing I've ever heard of. I want a Cobalt Vampire Spawn.
I just want to be a dragonborn vampire with just a host of cobalt minions. I only turn kobolds and other dragonborn.
I love that for you, and I hope that one day that fantasy is fulfilled for you. But could I offer a suggestion? If you do that, you've got to play a ranger, just so you can be a Drake Warden.
There you go.
And have a big-ass dragon with you also.
Perfect. Love it. Will do.
Now I want to see this. That needs... oh my god. That needs to be your one-shot character.
Just a vampire dragonborn. That only turns kobolds.
I would willingly play your first Cobalt Disciple. That would be so funny. I love kobolds to death. I would
kobolds are amazing.
Playing one.
Like I said, I have never played a goblin, but I have played kobolds because I love them. I love kobolds. They are my favorite.
I've played as a DM, I've played both, but as a player, I've only played a goblin. I haven't got to play a kobold yet as a character, outside of like an NPC. And when I say NPC, I mean like an actual companion of the group, not just, the ones we find in the cave and we stomp the shit out of.
Right.
Yeah. Level 15, again, 8th level spell slots, Holy Aura, Anti-Magic Field. Great spells, but, I mean, feature-wise, you're getting what spellcasters get. 16th ASI, 17th, we're getting our 9th level spells. This is when you're getting Mass Heal, Power Word Heal, and True Resurrection. You know that friend you had from, like, level 1 that died in the first dungeon, and here you are defeating the final boss, and you now have True Resurrection, but you still have, like, I don't know, their tooth or something? I don't know, that's kind of weird. But you have something of theirs. You can bring that level 1 friend back. Just so you can gloat about how strong you are and how weak they were when they died. True Resurrection is so powerful.
Yeah. You get hit with the Disintegrate, don't have to worry.
Yeah, you're back.
Well, you're back.
I also want to say I fully support Clerics being just the shittiest person on the group. You don't have to be a goody-goody.
No.
No. Be shitty.
No.
You harness divine magic. You are not harnessing the commonplace magic of Arcane. This is divine. And you make sure your party knows it.
Yeah, you can just be as snooty as possible, and you can be like, the only person better than me is my god, obviously.
Obviously, right? Also, your Destroy Undead's going up to CR4, which means Banshees, Ghosts, Deathlocks, Bone Nagas, and you're getting a subclass feature. This late in the game, we're getting subclass.
At this point in time, your spell is going to just annihilate everything anyways.
At this point,
you can do it!
You can, but there's better things to do at this point. I mean, realistically, I feel like almost all of those things would crumple to, like, a 7th or 8th level Spirit Guardian, like, in one hit, and you can do all of them together.
Right, just Sunbeam, just go brrrr!
18th level, proficiency is going up to 6, and Channel Divinity, we get 3 per long rest, and 19 we're getting the ASI, final ASI, so this is your last time to get those yummy feats before we pop level 20, where you get the Divine Intervention auto success.
You know what, I have a question for you.
Yes.
I feel like there needs to be more higher level feats, like level requirement feats. Like, I like it doesn't have to be a ton of them, but I just would like a couple more, you know, just to have like add some spice to your life.
Okay.
You know?
Stick with me for a second, because I think this is like a wizard feature, but I would like to see it as an actual feat. I would love to see a feat that allows you to pick a spell that is 1/3 your level. So, like, at level 15, you can do, like, a 5th level spell, right? And you can cast, or that's actually probably still too high, but just something where you can cast that spell like a cantrip infinitely. Because I know there's a wizard subclass that gives you that, but I think it's, like, level 1 through 3. Even that, I think that would be an amazing feature to have at late level, because by then a level 1 spell is going to feel like a cantrip to you.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you could be guiding bolts or your cures. Or
can you imagine someone just like out of combat just infinitely casting 1st level cure wounds? Like, it would take forever to do the healing, but
hey,
it's there.
Yeah,
it might be slow, but it is in fact there. I think that would be a really fun feature.
I think that would be very cool. I like that idea.
Because
it's not overpowered, because like in combat, what's that going to really help? But it adds a nice little flavor, and like, yeah, guiding bolt is cool and stuff like that.
Okay, hear me out. I would love to have a feature specific for clerics, okay? And what I think would be cool for it to do is almost like your character worshipping 2 gods, and you getting the channel divinity once per long rest of another domain.
That'd be pretty cool.
You know, because like, I still feel like you should have to use your channel divinity points, but you can only use that specific one once per long rest or something. I think that would be cool. Super fucking cool.
That would be, again, this is just, and this is the cool thing about Clerics, it's just adding more diversity to it, right? So you could play your way, and that's, I think, is the coolest thing of Clerics and D&D for D&D is like, Cleric is really play your way. Like,
yes,
do whatever you want, and you can do it, buddy. That's why it's my second favorite class, man. Every time you play a Cleric, you could it could be different. And like I said, you could throw it with feats, and like it completely changes how you play, and it is so fun, and it is such a good role play class because of your god.
Yes.
And I don't know. I just can't. I can't gush or about clerics. I just love them.
Yeah, clerics and the roleplay of cleric. I feel like there are two or three classes that just bring so much roleplay with their class, and that's cleric, warlock, and paladin. They
Yep.
just hand you so much to roleplay with.
Yep.
So if you're struggling with role playing and you want to be better, this isn't like, if you're struggling and you're like, I don't want to learn that yet, and you're not comfortable doing the voices, whatever. That's okay. But if you're wanting to try to get better at that, one of those three classes is going to be amazingly helpful for you, because it's like, I think warlock is probably the best one though, because
Yes, definitely.
then it can give, even with gods or a patron, it's going to give your DM a way to talk exclusively to you. And what that's going to do is make it to where you can roleplay without the risk of other characters hearing you roleplay. Like, obviously the players will hear you, but you don't have to worry about the repercussions of saying something stupid and then like jeopardizing something for the whole players, because it's just between you and your god.
Yeah. Yep. What I like is kind of like, I like to think of it as warlock. You have like the cell phone number to your patron, like a direct line to them, and where cleric, you can do that, but it requires spell slots. Like, you can talk to your god, you can commune literally with that spell and talk to your god, and it is going to be later on in the levels that you get to do it, but you get to do it, and it adds so much, and it depends on all if you want to. It's like either the DM will say like he directly talks to you, or you could be like, call up your god for a spell slot and be like, hey buddy, how's it going,
What up?
I just want to do a check-in, see how we're doing,
See,
and you can do these things.
I have a hot take on that specific thing you just said, but I want to bring it into 2024 to talk about it. So once we get there, I want to talk, which is actually probably where we're going to go now, because I feel like we've talked enough about 2014. This actually was the quickest we've ever gotten through a 14, and it's because all of their features are so front-loaded.
It is. And also level 20, you're cool.
Yeah,
you're a cool kid.
Gold. And you're great from the beginning. Like,
yeah.
Play a cleric,
20
everyone. As
someone
who never plays a full cleric, I'm telling you to play a cleric. At least dip a little bit.
And that's the thing, is like, even if you dip, it works well with your class.
Yeah.
You can totally fit it to just do exactly what you want. Like, I am playing a cleric monk. Works.
I once had a character, and I wanted to be like a bad guy. This was if you've watched Game of Thrones, this was a very Melisandre-esque character, right? Very deceitful, very like... So the way I described her to everyone, she is that best friend that you have, that you just start hanging out with, and then out of nowhere you realize you're in a cult. Like, that's her. She's there to trick people into joining this cult. And so she was a priestess of Kasuth, who is the god of elemental fire. And I played her as a wildfire druid mixed with a life cleric. And her whole goal in life is to burn the entire world down and let something greater grow from the ashes.
And I think that is such a good thing, because they're not thinking they're doing evil, right? Yeah. And then necessarily, they're not like... They're helping. They think they're helping, and I think that can also bring a great dynamic, because they're like, this is for the greater good. This is all good stuff. And then people are like, what? And they're like, no, it's good.
Yeah, we're like in the middle of a village full of like people whom are not followers of Kasuth. They like rejected Kasuth, and I was just like, that's okay. We can just burn the village. It's fine. And the group's like, what? And I'm like, something better will grow from the ashes. We don't need these non-believers. They don't have any money. They don't have any resources. They cannot further Kasuth's goal. What's the point in them being here when they are going to be in the ashes anyway?
The way that they can contribute is by burning. Yeah, there you go.
They feed the fire.
There you go.
God, that was a twisted character, but God, she was so much fun. Play villains also, everyone. Don't think that because you're a healer, you can't be evil. Because, let me tell you something. Torturing someone to 0 health and then spare the dying them and bring them back to torture them more. What could be worse than a torture that even death is not an escape?
Oh, no. Revivify them, kill them, and then bring them back and be I could do this all day.
Depending on your DM, I believe Revivify has to be a willing target. But Spare the Dying doesn't.
Nope. It's true.
So yeah, just that be a torturous bitch with your clerics, or be a holy person who's goody two shoes. That is up to you, and they have the versatility to do both of these things.
Or be somewhere in between, and that's the great thing. Again, it's all up to you how you want to play your cleric.
Absolutely. 2024 though, we're gonna get into it. Your starting gear, you get a choice of A or B. A is a chain shirt, a shield, a mace, a holy symbol, a priest pack, and 7 gold, or 110 gold. So before, where we had this big mix and match, now it's you get A or B, your choice. I would go with B. Just being honest. Give me the money so I can buy what I want.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's because clerics are so diverse, taking that gold, you can just build it exactly how you want to be, and that's great.
I just had myself a blonde moment, my friend. I was looking at the time for this, and because I forgot that we had paused so I could fix the divine light attacking me, and I was like, oh my god, we are only 18 minutes into this video. I'm like, what is happening? I was like, oh my god, I've got to start talking more.
I don't think we ever have that problem.
I know, we talked way too much. Level 1, you are a prepared caster, so still you can rearrange your spells as you see fit. Again, 2 cantrips right off the bat. And this time, instead of getting your subclass, we're going to be getting Divine Order. And with that, you either choose to be a Protector, which means you are trained for battle and gain proficiency in martial weapons and training with heavy armor, or you become a Thaumaturge, which means you know 1 extra cantrip from the Cleric spell list. In addition, your mystical connection to the divine gives you a bonus to your Intelligence, Arcana, or Religion checks. The bonus is equal to your Religion modifier. So that means if you are a smart Cleric and you have Intelligence, you get to add both Intelligence and Wisdom to your Arcana or Religion. So thank God they can do religion checks as a religious person these days.
Finally, the thing that they do for their entire life, they can actually do for their entire life. But I love this because the flavor is if you're going to be a martial class, it's you kind of know the basics of religion, but that's not what you're here for. You are the weapon of your god. That is what you are. And the other one's no, I trained, I read books, scriptures, and all these things, and I'm bringing it out into the world. Again, nothing but an improvement there, so I love it.
And with this, I know there's a big controversy about not getting your domain at level 1 anymore. And I want to tell you why I'm okay with it. To me, Cleric now feels like this is your entryway into being a Cleric. This is you are an apprentice, you're an acolyte, you are just starting. You really haven't done anything to get your god's favor yet. Obviously they're still blessing you with power, but not their specific power. It's more here's some holy magic, go for it. And that's why I'm okay with it. I feel like if I was a god, I wouldn't just hand out my specific shit to just everyone who's hey, I'm a Cleric now.
Yay.
But that's just me.
I lean more towards I like the idea of your god at the beginning because it kind of gives you a good idea. But I'm okay with either way. I really am fine with it. I prefer when I'm going to make my character, I already know what god I'm going to go with. So it doesn't really affect me other than I get my stuff later on. But when I'm making a Cleric, I'm going to be I am going to be a life Cleric, or I am going to be.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel in that same stance, it's not you're making your character, I'm going to be a life Cleric. It's, I am a Cleric of Selûne. I bring her up a lot because I feel she's thanks to Baldur's Gate, I feel she's a very easy one to, everyone knows her. She is she is light, life, and I think Twilight even.
Yes.
But when you go into being a Cleric of Selûne, I feel then you become a Cleric of Selûne instead of becoming a Cleric of life, if that makes sense. Whereas, you're kind of navigating your newfound powers and then finding your niche later. Even though who doesn't love a 1-level cleric dip in 2014 and just getting all that shit up front? It's amazing. If your DM will let you mix and match, ask for the 2014 cleric if you're only going to dip. But if you're going to full dive into cleric, I would recommend doing 2024 because we're getting a whole lot of cool shit later on. You are. So at level 2, we are yet again getting our channel divinity. We're still getting turn undead, and you're going to be getting back one of your channel divinities on a short rest now, and all on a long rest. So that does give you a little bit more playroom. Playroom. It gives you some more longevity. You don't got to like hold it for that one niche moment. You can kind of pop the cool shit out when you want to. In addition to that, we're getting 2 cleric like base class divinities. The first one, of course, is turn undead. It's relatively the same. However, they did what I wanted in this one. Each undead of your choice within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails the save, it has the frightened and incapacitated condition for 1 minute. For that duration, if it tries to move from you as long as it has a turn. This effect ends immediately. This effect ends early on the creature if it takes any damage, or if you have the incapacitated condition. I like this so much better than just saying they're turned and then having like, or if you die. Yeah, if you die, they're chill. They don't fear you anymore. But then also we're going to be getting Divine Spark. And as a magic action, you point your holy symbol at another creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. And focus divine energy on it. Roll 1d8 and add your wisdom modifier. You either restore hit points to the creature equal to that total, or force the creature to make a constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes necrotic or radiant damage, your choice, equal to the total. On successful save, the creature takes half as much. And this is going to get stronger as we go. Thank God, because 1d8's not a super crazy amount of healing later, but...
I'm just saying, like, they didn't have to do a saving throw for this one.
No, they didn't.
It's a D8.
It's a D8,
Whatever.
yeah. That should not
they have
have
to, and it expends a resource.
Yes. I agree with you. I don't think it should have been...
Give him the D8.
I don't think it should have been a saving throw. But, I mean, you do get some extra healing if you are a healer. I think that's good, because that way if you run out of spell slots and you're really in a jam, you've got your Divine Spark. On top of any subclass ones that you're going to be getting at 3rd level, because that's pretty much all you're getting at 3rd level is 2nd level spells and your subclass. At 4th level, we're going to get our ASI, and we are getting a new feature. This one kind of changes the way Destroy Undead works, so it's no longer like a one and done, just they blow up. Whenever you use Turn Undead, you can roll a number of d8s equal to your wisdom modifier, a minimum of 1d8, and add these rolls together. Each undead that fails the saving throw against that use of Turn Undead takes radiant damage equal to the total of the roll. This damage does not end the turned effect. I like this better.
Yeah, way better. Way better.
Because, I mean, what is this, level 5, we should be getting, we should have at least 4 points in wisdom, like for our modifiers. So that's 4d8 damage. 48! That should be enough to kill most low-level things, and if it's stronger than that, you're still doing damage, versus, it's too strong, it does nothing.
I want to ask you a question. So for me, I like Seer Undead. I like this ability, but for me, if you're worshipping a evil god, not so much one that would like want to destroy undead, but like I would have personally, I would make it so my cleric could take over undead for a minute, and they could choose to just remove it. But
that I could see that that would probably end up being a subclass feature, and I would love to see a revitalized. We were talking about this before recording. A revitalized death domain, and that would be a fucking
perfect
cool
one. Yeah, take over
ability. Yeah, instead of searing, maybe like Yeah, I could almost see it working similar to what is like the sleep spell? Like you roll the d8s, and if it goes
Yeah,
over their health bar,
over
they are
that.
under your control.
Yep,
That would be
that's what I
really
would say.
cool. That would be
I
fucking
think
cool.
that would be great. Then you could really, you're like, I control death. Death is my domain. These are now mine. Like, you may have
Yeah.
resurrected them, but I control the god of death. Or the god of death is my, my
My
god.
power
So,
source, my
my,
who
yeah.
I
So these are
worship.
mine now. These are my
That
dead.
would be so cool.
Right? I think
I'm
that would be something
so into
fantastic.
it. Also, there's something I did want to talk about, and it kind of pertains to 2024 Cleric, and that's that they have changed the way healing spells work, and you can now heal undeads and constructs with most healing spells.
Mhm.
I adore that. So that means our, necromancer clerics, you can heal those undead creatures that you are summoning now, which excellent
Love it.
in my personal opinion.
I agree.
Also at level 5, we're going to be getting Spirit Guardians and Revivify. Again, if you weren't with us for 2014, we cannot talk enough about Spirit Guardians. It is
Love
so
Spirit
strong.
Guardians.
It is so good.
It's a good defense and a good offense. It's everything you want and more.
It really is. Okay. I just thought of something. I was like, it's not everything I want. Can you imagine if, like, allies that came in it, if it healed them?
Oh,
That would be
God.
so crazy.
That would be so busted.
Can I get a
Like,
Spirit Guardian that's like that, but doesn't do
you know what?
damage? That's what I want. Everyone
That
in
would be really
Aura.
cool. Yeah, you know what would be really cool is if you could switch it from like the damage one, or when you cast it, be a healing one.
Yeah.
So you just run and heal everybody.
I would like to see. I would honestly like to see it as like as an action. You can switch them like as it's
I would love
active.
to.
Like this turn we're healing. Next turn we're a lawnmower. I don't
I
know.
would be down with that.
Why are
That'd
we
be fun.
sitting here trying to give buffs to Spirit Guardians?
Because we love it.
It's just so good.
It's just so good.
It's just
We just wanted to make it
amazing.
better. It's our baby. We love it so much.
It's so good. Coming in at level 6, you're not really getting anything extra. It's just a level up. Level 7 though, we are gonna get 4th level spells. Banishment. We're back at it again. Amazing spell. And if you're someone who really enjoys Banishment, with all the feat that we've been getting, if I could recommend Meta Magic and taking Twin
Yes.
Spell, get rid of 2
Double.
people. Amazing.
Best.
Also at 7th level, we're gonna get Blessed Strike. You gain one of the following options of your choice. So with that, you get either Divine Strike once on each of your turns. When you hit a creature with an attack using a weapon, you can cause the target to take an extra 1d8 necrotic or radiant damage, your choice. Or Potent Spellcasting, which is you add your Wisdom modifier to the damage you deal with any cleric cantrip. I love that they are giving so many options to an already versatile class.
It was yeah. So it was so good, and it used to be your subclass. I would give you this, and I always felt really terrible getting this because I like Trickery Domain, and Trickery Domain's like, here's poison. I'm like, everything is fucking immune to poison.
Everything.
Why? Why? Now you
if,
can have not heard.
If you would like to hear all about damage types and which ones we think are the best and why poison is the worst, I'm going to do my best to put in a nice little video. It'll probably show up right over where Royal's head is. I don't know. I'm still not very good at the tech stuff, but we'll see. Hopefully I make it happen. And me and Robin will tell you all about the different damage types.
Yeah, I would venture, like, if you have a god of fire, let them do fire. If
Let
it's a
them.
god of lightning, let it be lightning damage.
Or thunder, yeah.
Thunder.
DMs.
Whatever. Like,
I say this so much to my players. Ask your DM. And DMs, let your players do cool shit. That's why we're here. We want to do cool shit.
If they're a dwarf that's the god of the forge and they're hitting and doing radiant damage, let them do fire. Let them do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's gonna change?
Yeah.
Nothing.
In fact, more things are resistant to fire. They are nerfing themselves for you. Let them do it.
Just let them have it.
Shit, where were we? Level 8, we're getting another feat. And then level 9th, we're hitting 5th level spell slots. So again, we have 2 levels where the only thing we're really going to get is the ASI and some extra spell slots. But then at 10th level, we are getting Divine Intervention. Now, we're going to go through with what the new Divine Intervention is. You call on your deity or pantheon to intervene on your behalf. As a magic action, choose any cleric spell of 5th level or lower that doesn't require a reaction to cast. As part of the same action, you cast that spell without expending a spell slot or needing material component. You can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. I like this, but I want to tell you why.
Okay.
Revivify is in that broad spectrum.
Okay,
you can,
that is true.
Without material, you don't need the diamond, and you only need a long rest. So you get one free use of like those oh shit spells that cost way too much material components.
True that.
I like the other one better, like
Me
thematically.
Too.
But from a like usefulness standpoint, I do think this one's better because it's actually going to happen. You don't have to, at this point, you don't have a 10% chance of it succeeding. You have a 100% chance of it succeeding.
If I was DMing, I'd let you choose which one you want to do.
Absolutely, I would.
I'd be like, do you want to roll a percentage or do you want to spell? Like, what do you need? This is a feature. You go for it.
Yeah, mix and match. Like, honestly, players, do not be afraid to ask your DM to do stupid shit like that. I mean, Why not? What are they going to say? No? Okay, now you're in the exact same position you were before. Yeah. Nothing changed. Or they could say yes.
As a person who would DM, I'd be like, yeah, why? I mean, you're using an action for it, and there's a percentile to do something cool, and you can't use it for 7 days. Sure. If you just want to use it for the one long rest spell, that's cool too. I don't have any problem. Just tell me what you want, and we can work it.
As a DM, I would definitely say if it succeeds that they can't use the level 5 or below one for 7 days also. Like, if if you use the other Divine Intervention, you cannot come back to this one for 7 days.
No, exactly. Like, if you use the other one, there are no Divine Interventions for you, the spell one, at all. It's like, it is gone for 7 days. But you're getting that super cool big bonus.
And as a DM, I want to play the gods, I think it's fun to, like, give me something to do with this. Do your cool Divine Intervention so I, as Selune, can come down and, like, revive your entire party. That's what I want.
Exactly. And again, then the god can always come back and be like, hey, you called on me. I need you to do something for me now.
Yeah.
Good plot hooks. Got so much. I think both would be fine. I don't have a problem with both, like you said. If they use the big 7 days for it, perfect. Do it. Love it.
Level 11, we're getting 6 level spell slots that gets you Heal, Hero's Feast, and Sunbeam. Amazing spells.
Good.
Level 12, we're getting ASI or Feat. Again, take the Feat, is what I always do. We're Feat enthusiasts here at the Knights of D20, apparently. Level 13 is just, it's
level
spell slots. It's 7th level spell slots.
Yeah.
But at 14th level, we're getting some shit. We're getting improved blessed strikes. So if you took the divine strike where with your weapon you hit and you get to do the extra d8, it increases to 2d8. I'm going to be honest. I think 2d8 at level 14 isn't that big of a deal. But whatever. That's okay.
It's a thing.
If you went with potent spellcasting, however, when you cast a cleric cantrip and deal damage to a creature with it, you can give vitality to yourself or another creature within 60 feet of yourself, granting them a number of temporary hit points equal to twice your wisdom modifier.
Way better.
Potent spellcasting. Better. You clean sweep this round. Divine Strike has nothing.
Better. Nothing.
I feel like here's what I wish they would have done. Instead of adding an extra d8, I wish it would have stayed 1d8 plus twice your wisdom modifier, because that's what we're getting is twice your wisdom modifier.
You know what? Just give them like the twice your wisdom modifier and temporary hit points to yourself.
Yes.
Because you can't give it to your, like, if you do a hit again, it doesn't matter. You already have 10 hit points. Before they go away, they have to go away. So why not just give that to that?
Yes.
Because they're going to be up in front anyway. So
And by level 14, realistically, let's max
Yeah,
it out. Let's play the math. Let's do some math, right? By level 14, you plausibly could have a 20. Like at max, odds are if you're doing a melee, you're probably not going to have a 20, but just for argument's sake, right? So we get 5. That's 10 temporary hit points plus a d8. That's 18. At level 14, 18 health ain't shit.
That is probably a fourth of attack sometimes.
I mean, hell, I'd be fine with even just your wisdom modifier plus a d8. Or even if it was the 2d8 plus wisdom mod. That would be fine. That's not that powerful.
No.
But it would be so nice to just give back to these divine striking clerics who are just doing their best.
They're doing their god's work as best they can.
They really are.
I don't know why they're just like an extra D8. I'm like, the extra D8 is not going to break the bank, kids. Just let them like either have the D8, like you said, and double their wisdom modifier, and then just give them the temporary hit points only go to them. So it's not like having multiple hits is going to do anything for them.
Yeah, and see, something else I really like about the potent spellcasting one is there is always a time when your concentration spell is taken, right? Everyone's full health, and you built a healer. So now you're sitting here, you're like, shit, I don't really have anything to do. You know what I mean? Other than throw down my one, bullshit cantrip damage. Because I don't want to waste my spell slots on damage. Because, I mean, that's how I don't like to. So here we go. That gives me the opportunity to throw out my Sacred Flame. And then still treat it like a support spell.
Yep.
Yeah. Potent spellcasting wins, for sure.
Hands down. But talk to your DM. See if you can do the thing that we just said.
I doubt they will let you, but talk to them. Level 15.
I would have.
I would. Level 15, we're getting potent. No, we're not. We just got potent spellcasting. Reading is difficult, let me tell you. Level 15, we're getting 8th level spell slots. Nothing too major. But then at 16, we're gonna grab another ASI or feat. By this point, your wisdom should be 20. If it's not, now is definitely the time. Especially since we're throwing people double our wisdom modifier in a temp health.
Yeah.
Give them at least a 10. Come on.
Yeah.
Level 17, we're going to be grabbing 9th level spell slots. There's your Mass Heal, Power Word Heal, True Resurrection. Again, gorgeous spells. Amazing. Cleric spell list is probably the best spell list in the game.
Yes.
And then we really don't get anything else until level 19, where we're going to be getting our Epic Boon. We're going to go over those once we get to the feat section. Once we're done with all the classes and the subclasses. Sorry if that's going to take forever for us to get to that. But if you're watching this like 2 years from now, it could possibly already be there for you. Just go check it out. But if you're watching this current, it is not. Sorry about it. And then level 20, you don't get shit. I feel like that's a reoccurring theme for the 2024 is that level 20 doesn't get anything.
You get greater divine intervention. You just get wish. That's all.
Yeah, you get wish. Do clerics get wish?
Well, that's what it says. Greater divine intervention. You can call upon an even more powerful intervention. When you see divine intervention feature, you can choose wish when you select a spell. If you do so, you cannot use divine intervention again until you rest for 2d4 long rests.
Interesting. I missed that one when I was compiling my list of features. I'm glad you had that ready.
Gotcha.
Again, still weaker than the original divine intervention where you just got to do shit.
Mm-hmm. Whatever. This is fine. It's
fine.
Either or. I mean, wish is a spell, so now you can have like you can actually have like parameters, but it's fine.
I just broke my little pencil trying to write what time we were going into final thoughts. Overall, 2014 versus 2024 Cleric. Which one do you like better?
I like 2024 better, even though that you have to choose your subclass later, and you have a worse divine intervention. Well, I wouldn't say worse. I just like the more flavorful. I will say the more flavorful divine intervention. But the improved Blessed Strikes is better. It's not dependent on your domain, where you can get screwed with poison. And I overall like the idea of you can either really, again, throw yourself into a more melee-centric, or you can do a more caster thing, and I enjoy those two things a
Yeah,
lot.
absolutely. I'm with you. I also would pick 2024. I think the potent spellcasting upgrade with where you're just throwing temporary health out, so good, so amazing. I love the new channel divinity where I can heal with it. I like that I can be a religious healer, a religious cleric. Um,
And we like
Overall,
to
I
turn undead
think
a lot better.
so much better. Seer Undead is so cool. Um, and just overall, I feel like it's just buffs. I think the divine intervention, some people could see it as a nerf, but I see it as a they've made it
More
reliable.
reliable. Right. Yeah, and I'm perfectly okay with that. And like, if I had to choose, yeah, I would definitely do that. I personally would allow the cleric to do a little bit of my homebrewing. Like I said, like what we were just saying, just like you can choose between the two, and I would say your divine strikes can give you temporary hit points based double off of your what's the modifier, because
Yeah,
it's not going to break the bank. And if
yeah.
you're up front and close, some AoE is going to knock those off like a turn
So
anyway.
fast. Yeah. It doesn't make sense that all they got was the D8. But it is what it is. In terms of other classes that we have covered so far, or even ones we haven't, do you think Cleric still stands in 2024 as in the top two classes?
Easier.
Do you think it is the top class of 2024?
No, that's Paladin.
I don't know. I still think I think Cleric is better than Paladin, personally, in
I like
2024.
Cleric more, but if you want to be Boom Boy, you're gonna do Paladin.
Yeah.
If you want to do that damage, but I like Cleric as number one because of the versatility. You can be Boom, you can be Heal, you can be somewhere in between, and you're gonna be awesome. And it just brings so much to the table. It could be your getting your feet wet for roleplay. It can do so much, and I love it. I love Cleric. I really, 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 I cannot stress enough how much I love Cleric.
I agree. I see. I would be. It would be difficult for me to pick if I would put it over Paladin in terms of power. I'm gonna be honest. In like a 1v1 fight kind of situation, no, Paladin is gonna win. But I feel like if it's more than 1v1, if it's like a group, I think the Cleric is gonna take him out way faster. So it's situational on which one's better. But I definitely think those two still stand as the top tier. They are the king and queen of D&D classes, and I don't think anyone's going to touch them for a very long time. Unless we just get some really janky-ass subclasses.
Right, just break them even more. Yeah, I love Cleric. Play a Cleric. Yeah. Try it out. Cleric. It's not scary.
It's not. It's, in fact, you have a god watching over you at all times. And especially for new players, this is a great way for you to talk to your DM and just say, hey, I'm really nervous about this. I don't really know what I'm doing. Everyone else is more experienced. I don't know what's going on. And most of the time, they will roleplay their god giving you guidance. They will roleplay helping you through situations as your character's god. And I think that just it's a brilliant way for new players to feel like they are a part of the roleplay, even if they don't really know what they need to be doing yet. This is a great way to open the door for that.
And don't be afraid of the spell list. I know it's big, I know it's scary, but you can change it every day. You don't have to. It's not a problem. And then you have your free domain spells anyways. Like, you'll have those all the time. So it's not that scary. You can just choose whatever you want. And if you find a spell that like doesn't work for you at all, or just is a fumble, change it tomorrow. It's fine.
Absolutely. Cleric is, in my opinion, the most forgiving class in D&D. Because if you make a mistake, there is a spell to fix it. If you roleplay incorrectly, there are features to fix it. There are spells to fix it. If you mess up in any way, shape, or form, Cleric can fix it. Be it through your divinity, through your god helping you, be it just through, divine intervention. There are ways to fix everything. So you don't need to be afraid of making mistakes as a cleric.
Yeah, and I think this is the second best class where you can just get feats. Obviously, fighter's going to be number one, but cleric is a good one. You can just grab a whole bunch of feats, and then you can be perfectly happy with it, and you'll have a good time, and you can change and test everything out.
Yeah, because let me tell you, as a healer in Dungeons and Dragons, as great as it is to get, that maxed out +5 on your heals, a +4 isn't that much different. You're gonna one extra healing per heal. Like, that's not enough to worry about. Yeah, like, I would rather have more features to have more versatility than that one extra health point per heal.
Like we were saying, that Misty Step. Oh, man. So good!
Mm-hmm. So, overall, play a cleric, try it out if you haven't already. If you have a cleric in your group, give them a pat on the back because they're probably carrying you and you don't realize it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for us on clerics. You're gonna be seeing a lot of us together for the next couple weeks because the way the classes lined up with who I wanted to have on, I have Royal with me for 3 weeks in a row, so we have us here for cleric. Next week we're gonna have the very awaited for brawl that is going to be Rangers. And following that, we're going to do rogue. Or, I said rogues, monks.
Rogue.
Monks! We're not doing rogues.
It's like that's one of my least played classes, but sure, let's
really?
Go.
Really?
Yeah,
interesting. I'm trying to get Kara for that one because she plays Kittenberry. So that's a rogue, I guess.
I think I would like to play a rogue. Yeah, it's like Bard. It's like one of those choices. Like I've always thought of playing one, but I didn't because I like spells, man. They're fantastic. I love them.
That they are. They are in fact really good. So if you would like to come and watch us play a cleric, Zada plays a cross-class cleric. So I don't know if you're going to be getting a whole lot of like actual cleric action, but there is a little bit of dabbling. Head on over on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do have Dion Rising, our live play campaign, where you can see me and the rest of the knights doing all kinds of stupid shit while trying to save the world.
Yeah, Zada was going to be a main full cleric, and then 2024 rules came out, and Month was like, "Hey, baby," and I was like, "Ooh, how you doing?"
Mm-hmm. And in 2 weeks, we will tell you all about what it was that tempted our cleric away from the clergy and into the open fist. Well, not open fist. That's a subclass. I shouldn't say that. Into the fist.
Into the fist.
So we will see you next time. Check us out. Tuesdays, we should be here every week. And until next time, may all of your intelligence checks be successful.